Namo Namaha, and welcome back. Now, in the last segment, we had found out all the different ways that you can ask questions in Sanskrit. And if you remember, it involves these K words that are part of the KYT series. Words like kutra, kada, katham, kutaha, kim, kaha, kimartham, and so on, right? Who, what, when, where, how, why. Let's turn now to the Y and the T in our series and see what those are all about. What we're going to find out is that there's some really important syntactical structures that we need to learn at this point in Sanskrit, which involves these constructions of the relative and correlative clauses. These can be a challenge sometimes to explain in terms of English grammar because they're handled, I think, rather badly in the English language, which likes to use these things called subordinate clauses, which, at least in my opinion, makes things a bit kind of clunky in the language. Sanskrit, on the other hand, likes to keep sentence structures fairly rigorous and elegant, and they take advantage of the precision that case endings offer us. And they especially make use of these markers called the relative and correlative indeclinables, or the pronouns, to be able to say fairly sophisticated things in a very elegant way. So what I'm going to try to explain in this video is how these relative correlative constructions work from a Sanskrit syntactical point of view, rather than kind of getting bogged down into exactly how they get translated into English. To start off with, let's go back to what we learned in our last unit, those great demonstrative pronouns, if you remember, saha, sa, tat, that we can use to say that elephant is eating fruit or that girl is laughing, that sort of thing. The sahagajaha palam kadati, sakanya vanarat hasati, she's laughing due to the monkey vanarat. Right? These make very good basic sentences, but now let's suppose you want to say something else about the girl who is laughing at the monkey, or about the elephant who's eating the fruit. Let's say the girl that's laughing at the monkey is also scared of the elephant. You can use two different sentences, of course, to say this. First, you could say Sakanya vanarat hasati. That girl is laughing at the elephant. Fine, right? Also, you can say, second sentence, Sakanya gajat bibheti. That girl is afraid of the elephant. Literally, that girl is laughing because of the monkey, right? Vanarat hasati. That girl is afraid because of the elephant. Now, how do we link these two sentences together? Well, one way to do it is using the conjunction and, right? Cha. You could say, it's easy to say, you could say, Sa kanya vanarat hasati gajat cha bibheti. That's also fine, right? There's other such conjunctions that will be able to link sentences together. We saw this in the previous sections, right? The word tu can be used, but sakanya vanarat hasati gajat tu bibheti. The girl is laughing at the monkey, but she's afraid of the elephant, right? Or you can add parantu. That's another way to do it. Another similar conjunction is or, right? Sakanya vanarat hasati gajatva bibheti. Right? The girl is laughing at the monkey or is afraid of the elephant. We're not sure, right? Now, let's try to imagine a more complicated relationship that we want to put between our two sentences. Let's say we want to emphasize that the girl who is laughing at the monkey is the same one who is afraid of the elephant. Right? To do that, Sanskrit employs a second pronoun. Just like we have our demonstrative sa, kanya, we're going to have the relative pronoun. Now, the relative pronouns are going to start with the letter ya. This is the Y in our KYT series, and it works very similarly to the K question pronouns like ka, ka, kim. We're going to instead have ya, ya, yat. Right? So these pronouns are used in the place of saha, sa, or tat. That's the correlative in the second sentence that's being linked to our first sentence. I'm sure you're confused, but let me show you in the example, and then maybe it'll become clearer. So again, the girl is both laughing at the monkey and is afraid of the elephant, right? So we're going to have two sentences. Sakanya vanarat hasati The girl is laughing at the monkey. Sa kanya gajat bibheti. The girl is afraid of the elephant. Now, to connect these in a relative correlative construction, you take the second one and replace the sa with ya. Then you take then you move it to be the first clause, then followed by the second clause. So ya kanya gajat bibheti, sa kanya vanarat hasati. What this sentence says is that the girl, the one who is afraid of the elephant, is the one who's laughing at the monkey. Right? The Y pronoun is a relative pronoun that connects a second idea about the individual who we're talking about in the second part of the sentence, the sa, the main sentence, the sa in the main sentence. This sa is called the T pronoun, since in all but the nominatives here, the declension is going to start with the ta kara. So the second part is still your basic sentence. Sa kanya vanarat hasati. That girl laughs at the monkey, but now we get more information about that girl. She is afraid of the elephant. So this syntactic construction gives you a tremendous amount of expressive power. Right? The relative clause, the Y pronoun sentence, doesn't have to be in the nominative. It can be in any case. So let's say Rama is giving the fruit to the girl who is laughing at the monkey. Right? Then the first clause would change to Yasyai kanyayai Ramaha phalam dadati sa kanya vanarat hasati. Right? The basic translation of this would be the girl to whom Rama is giving the fruit. Yasyai kanyayai. That girl, sa kanya, is laughing at the monkey. Right? So notice it sounds very wonky in English, but in Sanskrit it's an extremely elegant sentence. And you can make it even more elegant now by dropping the second kanya, since it's redundant, right? We said kanya in the first part. So you could say, Yasyai kanyayai Ramaha phalam dadati sa vanarat hasati. Right? The girl to whom Rama is giving a fruit, she is laughing at the monkey. So in our example, our girl in the relative clause, the Y pronoun, is in the fourth case. Right? You can use any other cases with the relative pronoun. Right? With whom, from whom, of whom, on whom. How about this one? The girl whom the boy loves, she is laughing at the monkey. Yasyam kanyayam balakaha snihyati. The girl towards whom the boy feels affection, feels love. Sa vanarat hasati. She is laughing at the monkey. On the flip side, the correlative pronoun, the T pronoun, also doesn't have to be in the nominative case. We've only taken it in the nominative, but let's go back to our core sentence, Kanya vanarat hasati. The girl is laughing at the monkey. Now let's say we want to say something more about the monkey rather than the girl. Let's say we want to say that the monkey that she's laughing at is playing on the tree. We would say, Vanaraha vrikshe kridati. That would be how to say the monkey is playing on the tree. But if we want to put those two together, how do we do that? First, we put the sentences side by side, add demonstrative pronouns in both. Saha vanaraha vrikshe kridati. That monkey is playing on the tree. Kanya tasmat vanarat hasati. The girl is laughing due to that monkey, at that monkey. Right? The T pronoun is inflected in the fifth case in the singular masculine to match the vanara, right? Vanarat, tasmat vanarat. For the first monkey now, we replace him now with the Y pronoun, again in the same gender, number, and class as the monkey. So the full sentence, when we smash it all together, becomes Yaha vanaraha vrikshe kridati tasmat kanya hasati. This would mean the monkey who is playing on the tree, because of him or at him, the girl is laughing. Right? It sounds really wonky in English, isn't it? It's clunky. We'd be more likely to say maybe the girl is laughing at the monkey who's playing on the tree. But in Sanskrit, this YT construction, the relative correlative phrases, it becomes very precise and becomes elegant, actually, and allows you all kinds of flexibility, since you can move words around inside these phrases without changing the core meaning of the sentence. The world of relative correlative pronouns is endless in a way. But hopefully this gives you a little taste of the Y and T side of the KYT series. We can mention here then also a few other constructions that involve now Y and T indeclinables, the words that correspond to the K indeclinables, these words kutra, kada, katham, kutaha, where, when, how, why. For each of these, there's also going to be equivalent relative and correlative adverbials. So where, for kutra, the corresponding relative and correlatives are yatra and tatra, where and there. So if you said yatra Ramaha gacchati, tatra Sita api gacchati. Literally, you're saying where Rama goes, there Sita also goes. In other words, Sita goes where Rama goes. Yatra gajaha phalam khadati, tatra aham wasami. Literally, where the elephant eats fruit, I live there. Or in other words, I live where the elephant is eating the fruit. Notice how in English, generally, the relative marker is the only one that you're going to say. The there sounds redundant and gets dropped. In Sanskrit, we're going to keep both the yatra and tatra to keep the symmetry of the sentence. For kada, meaning when, the corresponding relative and correlative adverbs now are when and then. In Sanskrit, yada and tada. Yada gajaha phalam khadati, tada vanaraha hasati. When the elephant eats the fruit, then at that time the monkey laughs. In other words, the monkey is laughing as the elephant is eating the fruit. For katham, meaning how, the corresponding relative and correlative adverbs are yatha and tatha, just as and just so, that way, thus. Yatha kanya karoti, tatha vanaraha karoti. Just as the girl is doing, the monkey is doing in the same way. In other words, the monkey acts the same way as the girl acts. Yatha tatha, it's often actually difficult to translate into English. Again, it kind of sounds clunky in English because the key to remember is that you're describing how an action is being done. The action in the tatha clause is being done in the same way as the action in the yatha clause is being done. Yatha guru vadati tatha aham api vadami. The way that the guru is speaking, I too will speak the same way. For why, katham, the corresponding relative and correlative adverbs in Sanskrit are yataha and tataha, since and therefore. These are worth remembering very carefully. You're going to use them a lot. Actually, you'll see them a lot in intellectual discourse, in philosophical writings and such. It's also found in storytelling because tataha is the basic way to say and then, thereupon, after that, kind of the next. So if we have gajaha yataha gajaha phalam khadati, tataha vanaraha hasati. This would mean that since the elephant is eating the fruit, therefore the monkey is laughing. In other words, the monkey is laughing because the elephant is eating the fruit. Yataha gajaha phalam khadati, tataha vanaraha hasati. There's another way to say since and because, and that's by using a frozen ablative, the frozen ablative versions of the ya and the pronouns, the y and t pronouns, yasmat and tasmat. In the same way that we had kasmat as a frozen y, right? We can also have yasmat gajaha phalam khadati, tasmat vanaraha hasati. It would mean exactly the same as the other sentence. Since the elephant is eating the fruit, therefore the monkey is laughing. There's one more kind of odd but very useful relative correlative construction, that involves the words yawat and tawat, which correspond to the question word we had before, kiyat, if you remember. So, and yawat and tawat roughly mean as long as much as, and then for so long or to that extent. So yawat Ramaha vane vasati, tawat Bharataha roditi. As long as Rama lives in the forest, for that long period of time, Bharata cries. In other words, Bharata is crying as so long as Rama is living in the forest. Maybe Bharata is crying for the whole duration that Rama is living in the forest. The sense is something like that. There's one additional YT construction that we should throw in here. It's very important, and that's the if-then statement in Sanskrit, which is done using yadi, which means if, and tarhi, which means then. So if you say yadi gajaha phalam khadati, tarhi vanaraha hasati. If the elephant eats the fruit, then the monkey laughs. This is a very highly useful construction, of course, to learn. If you learn it right away, then it'll make your studies of Sanskrit easier down the road. You see what I did there? Anyway, there's a lot more that we can say about relative correlative constructions. again, we're just at the tip of the iceberg here. And with everything else, the more you practice, the more that you build these patterns into your repertoire, the easier all of this is going to become. But I hope at least this video allows you to begin to appreciate the kind of elegance and precision of the yat, the YT series, the syntax in Sanskrit, when it involves ya and the pronouns like yaha, saha, ya, sa, yat, tat, or if it involves adverbials like yatha, tata, yada, tada, yatra, tatra. These all play a huge role in Sanskrit syntax when we're trying to articulate two or more ideas within a complex sentence. Now, if we put them together with our K question words, we get our KYT series, which is the core of basic Sanskrit syntax. So let's take a break, practice our constructions, and when we come back, we'll talk about all the other interesting things you can do with our KYT series, our question words, and our relative correlative pronouns and adverbials. Till then, thank you for watching. See you next time. Punarmilamaha. Dhanyawadaha.